Guys, it's your favorite auntie. Ugh. So it turns out that Tyrese was actually right. Let's get into this video. Years we have been listening to Tyrese whine and complain on Instagram every week about his divorce from Samantha Gibson. Oh, how she just left him. She's trying to take all his money. She had no reason to divorce him. It was a love transaction. She never really loved me. Man, and then this video dropped today, and I will be Jane Doe if this man wasn't right. Time he has been saying that she had no reason to divorce him, and I did not believe him. I honestly said to myself, there is no way that this woman would leave him with a 1 year old for no reason. He had to have done something. And I didn't necessarily think that it was cheating, but we know that Tyrese can have erratic behavior. We've seen it. And so I just assumed maybe he had some issue with trust, or he was maybe creeping in some woman's DM. I thought maybe he just wasn't providing what she needed. I thought there had to be some rhyme or reason, and it had to be a good one for her to just up and pack her bags with the 1 year old and leave everything behind. I did not believe this man. He even talked about, what was it, a few months ago, he talked about her mom was all in their business, and the mom was the one that encouraged her to leave him. And I just didn't believe it. I said, no, why would a mama do that? Why would she do that unless you did something? And then we find out today from the video that dropped that she really didn't have a legitimate reason as to why she left him. She was just angry and upset, and something happened, but she didn't say what it was. But it seemed like it was, from what she said, it wasn't anything that was not forgivable. And she was just in a bitter place at the time. And if she could go back and not listen to people that were in her ear, she would have never left him. What? This whole time, I am really believing everything that she's saying. I'm really on her side. I am really into Miracle Monday. I'm really into the dream that she's selling. I'm really believing that, okay, you know what? Whatever reason she had, it had to be legitimate. And then she's been so solid in her walks and talks of videos that she's been doing about, just uplifting women and letting women know that if you're in a situation that, here's the things that you shouldn't just settle for, and guys too. And she just really, to me, was coming from a place of, she's really solid in what she's saying. And then this clip dropped.
Let me ask you this. If we can go back, and if I were able somehow to insulate you with a pro-marriage, pro-relationship community, do you think you still would have actually gone through a divorce?
Not that time.
Okay.
I don't know what would have happened. Oh, I've never said this publicly.
No, this is what we do.
This is initiated exclusive, baby.
Delano, make sure you zoom in on this one, okay?
Yeah. It gets deep.
No, actually, no. I want to deny myself. I want to deniability. The truth about the matter is that if I had different people in my ear at that time, I would not have made that decision. No.
Wow.
So this clip speaks to Tyrese's point, which is that she had people in her ear, namely her mother. He talked about that months ago. And I know he came out with a video today in response to what she said in this clip, where he brought up her mom again. But he had said this many, many months ago, that her mother was the one that influenced her to leave him. And I did not want to believe that this man was right. And from listening to this clip today, he was absolutely right about that. She did a podcast, Dear Wifey podcast, about 2 years ago. And I went back to listen to that because I had listened to it years ago. And I said, let me go back. Did she say something then that I missed? Because I don't understand how I'm just having this epiphany today that this man has been telling the truth this whole time. And when I went back to listen to it, she said that she had a therapist this entire time that they were going through their situation, and that she was consulting with those people who had spiritual backgrounds to give her counsel on her marriage. And so when Tyrese came out today and he said that you said that in this podcast that you didn't have people, the right people in your ear, but you had people that was trying to tell you to stay in your marriage. Tyrese was right. She said that 2 years ago. And she just chose not to listen. So I absolutely believe that it's her mother that encouraged her to leave her marriage, and maybe some friends. She blamed it on an attorney in this particular podcast. But 2 years ago, when she did the Dear Wifey podcast, she didn't. She said that she had a therapist, people she was consulting with, and she even talked about her family a little bit. I had missed that last time. She said that her family, they were the type of family that if you crossed them and you made them angry, oh, they were done with you. I missed that years ago when she said that. So that further speaks to what Tyrese was saying, that, yeah, no, your family was the interference. Your mom was the interference in your marriage. But at that time, she didn't blame her family. I don't think she still blames the family today, because in this podcast, she's blaming the attorney. But yeah, he's right on that. She also talked about that her family was a strong support system in that Dear Wifey podcast. Now, in this particular podcast that I just played, she talked about what led to her divorce being bitterness, and that she wasn't in a place of forgiveness. And that she did say that she had a therapist, for a long time. She admitted that she didn't look at her divorce more intensely. I think she was very accountable in this podcast. I will give her that she was very transparent. But I guess my big issue with that was that I expected that you to be transparent like this for the last 2 years. And I don't know why. I guess because I'm a big fan of listening to Miracle Monday. And, I like to listen to some of her YouTube videos and the stuff that she posts on Instagram. And she just didn't have that energy. She had the energy like, no, I left for a reason. And sometimes you got to get out of situations when they don't feed your soul, and giving all these biblical scriptures. And all of that might hold true, but it just was not the same energy that she gave this time around. And I'm like, well, where did that come from? Well, why all of a sudden there's this accountability of remorse, and that I would do things differently? That was very shocking for her because it seemed like she was standing 10 toes down on the fact that I left him. And so we've been having to listen to him whine about this divorce, and we cannot stop hearing about it. And this whole entire time, you could have been told this man this. Here's another thing. I think that Tyrese is right when he says that she should not be coming after him for alimony. I didn't believe that until this podcast dropped. I didn't. Until she went on Hardly Initiated podcast. I really didn't think that she should drop the alimony. I thought, no, she should get her alimony. But then once I found out that actually they had only been together for 3-4 years, and that you really did leave him for a reason that was not legitimate. You said it was something that was forgivable and that you would do it differently. So if that is the case, then I think you owe it to him to let him move on with his girlfriend. I know you're the wife on paper, but I think you owe it to him, Samantha, to move on, cut the ties. Don't try to go after alimony. Just have him take care of his daughter, whatever reasonable amount a month, that is a month, that it takes to take care of her. And let him go on with his life. You move on with your life. You're going to be prosperous. I think you're going to do well regardless. You make very good income as it is. I think you got to close that chapter. And part of closing that chapter, part of forgiveness, is also not going after someone for money. And that's my opinion. So I want you guys to leave your opinions down in the comments. Let me know how you feel about the situation. Are you sick of hearing about it? Or you feel like, no, she should get her alimony? Or you think like I do, where you're like, let it go, sis. It's time to move on. Take us out the group chat. Can we all move on from here? And then I'm going to just close out this video with saying, I hate to say it, Tyrese was right.